Alright, back here. Let's see. The only thing we have is an engine fault. The transmission passed, okay? So, let's report. And we see the engine fault says there's a P0500, which is a vehicle speed sensor A. Now, there is a speed sensor on the transmission in the back of the transmission that reads the reluctor. We changed that sensor when we took the pan down. That sensor is connected into the computer. Now, the TCM, which is inside of the transmission. And the way the way this works is that the vehicle speed sensor is then transmitted over the CAN data bus line, and the engine computer is supposed to see it. Now, the engine computer says it doesn't see it, but the TCM says that it does. We're going to look at that, and then I'm going to tell you about CAN data and why I don't like it, and why it's not the best system to have when it comes to diagnosing. But here we got, again, vehicle speed sensor A. Alright, TCM is fine, transmission passed, everything passed. So we're going to escape here. Escape. Okay. Go to control unit. Now what I'm going to do is go to the transmission, and we're going to start. Here, go ahead and back up. We're going to move these back. Let me get this together. We're going to go to the live data in this. Live data. Hold on. Okay, what I am looking for, output speed, vehicle speed, I guess. Okay. So what I have is the output speed, the vehicle speed, and the gear 1 speed. And I'm in the transmission control module system. Alright, we're going to be moving out. Ready? Yep. Looking over there, the speedometer is working. Speedometer is working. Transmission is shifting, and we see output speed and vehicle speed. We went to third gear, and we see revolutions per minute. Okay, so we're in the transmission control module, and it is seeing things according to the scanner. Okay, and this is all we have to rely on at the moment. The scanner does see information, or excuse me, the TCM does see information, and it doesn't have a code that it does not see it. If the CAN data bus line was down, it would have more codes than just that single code. So we know the CAN data line is okay. Okay. Now we're gonna go back to go to the engine side. You can go ahead and drive around We are moving. Transmission is shifting fine, but it still has that code. And let's see here, we're going to go to live data on the engine. I'm going to the all signals. Okay, so we're moving right now, and we have vehicle speeds. This is the engine computer now. We have the vehicle speed, SE, then we have the vehicle speed. Now, the vehicle speed, SE, is that sensor that we changed in the transmission, okay? And it is showing a reading, which means that that signal is being fed into the TCM and coming through the CAN data line in order for the engine computer to see this. Because when we go to move, then it starts to show a miles per hour, and also the vehicle speed is showing a reading. Okay. So we are moving, and it's actually showing that there is a signal. You can go ahead. Transmission is shifting, okay. So, now we're going to have to conclude if the TCM is not saying that there is a problem, and it sees the signal, and the ECM says it is a problem, and it does not see the signal. However, we can see in the ECM that the signal is getting to it. Right here, we can see that it actually sees a signal, and the signal is going to that ECM, although it's throwing a code. Then we have to conclude, perhaps, that the ECM is the one that's malfunctioning. Okay, now there's no way of checking this other than what I'm doing right now with the scanner. That's why I don't like the CAN data, because it puts you in a position where you have to make a hypothesis, an educated guess, based on seeing the TCM having a signal, based on seeing the ECM having a signal, and based on knowing that the CAN data bus has to be operable, because there's no other codes or U codes that say the CAN data bus is inoperable. Okay. Furthermore, again, if the CAN data line was down, we have U codes and all type of other different codes because of the CAN data bus being down. Okay. So again, right now, even this is the engine side. If we move, it shows the signal is there. Okay, so if I go back and go back and I read the code, it's going to say P0500 vehicle speed sensor A code, and it throws on a check engine light, and it cannot pass the aim test. So now what I'm going to end up doing is getting an engine computer for this, and then seeing how it goes from there. It's the only thing you can do. Everything else passed, nothing else. The only one that didn't pass is the ECM. And this is an example, could be an example, when you have a computer that is actually blaming something when it itself is the one at fault. Okay. All right. So let us head our way back to the shop.